You're listening to Carolina Forest Panther Football on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network. And it starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to Carolina Forest Panther Football here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network as the 1-1-1 Carolina Forest Panthers get set to take on the 3-0 Irmo Yellow Jackets here at Panther Stadium, a cloudy Panther Stadium. I'm Brandon Biskobing. I'll be bringing you all the action tonight, and joining me is Brogan Hillman. And Brogan, before we get to tonight, unfortunately, we have to talk about the disappointing, albeit not surprising, result from last week.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so Panthers faced off against Huff out of North Carolina last week, losing pretty handily, 41-0. But if you look at that score on its own, just looking at the final score, you're thinking, oh, the Panthers were dominated. But at halftime, it was only 7-0. So the Panthers played the Huskies very well in the first half, especially defensively. The main issue was, obviously, the Panthers just could not move the ball at all against that stout Husky defense.
That's right. I mean, there's a big underlying story. When you look at the score, again, just like you mentioned, there's a lot to be seen that it's not at surface level. You go down deeper in the game, it's 7-0 at halftime, like you mentioned. The storyline is just moving the ball, capitalizing, which the Panthers were not able to do. Unfortunately, Huff was the team that was able to capitalize off these turnovers, a blocked punt earlier in the game. It's just a lot of silly mistakes. The Panthers just clean up, practice, and we knew that going into this game that they're going to be ready to get their get back. They're hungry after that Huff game, and they played them very, very well. They played them tight, and they could have pulled out a game. Made it a little closer there towards the end, but they're looking to do just that against Irmo tonight.
But like we talked about last week, this is another tough battle for Carolina Forest. Irmo comes into this game ranked in the top 10 in every single poll. Max Prep State, they're fourth. Max Prep's 5A, they're third. In Ken Massey for the state of South Carolina, they're ranked fourth. Their lowest ranking is the Sports Illustrated South Carolina ranking, where they're sixth. High School Sports Report for 5A, they're at number 2, and then the media poll for 5A, they're 5th. So this is a very strong team that they're coming up against, and the main factor for the Yellow Jackets team, especially on offense, is the dynamic duo of A.J. Brand and Donovan Murph. Brand, their quarterback, already committed to Virginia Tech. He is a 3-star recruit. He's the 15th ranked recruit in South Carolina, according to ESPN. Murph is a junior. Brand is a senior. Murph is a junior. He's a 4-star recruit, ranked the 19th wide receiver in the nation, 119th overall in the nation, according to 24/7 Sports. He's the 3rd-ranked recruit in South Carolina, according to them. He has offers from pretty much every big-time school you can think of. You mentioned it last week with one of the Huff players saying, oh, he's getting offers from every single D1 program. Same with Murph, pretty much. Offered from Alabama, Auburn, Citadel, Clemson, Duke, Georgia, Indiana, Mississippi State, Ohio State, Oregon, Stanford, Texas A&M, UCF, and Wisconsin. So kind of along the lines of what we were talking about last week with Huff, he's not just getting offers from the local schools. Even, Georgia, it's pretty close. Clemson, obviously, in South Carolina. So, in that, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee area, bigger recruits you would expect to be getting those offers. But he's getting nationwide offers.
Yeah, I do think I've heard of some of those schools.
Just a few.
Some of them. Like, Yeah, but you mentioned Oregon, Stanford, Texas A&M, Ohio State, and you're looking, if you don't see where he goes to high school, the state that he's located in, I mean, that's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
They don't just give those out to anybody.
Oh, no. And let's see. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I think at least half of those schools. Let's see. I know Alabama is. Clemson is. Well, barely. Georgia is. Ohio State, Oregon, Texas A&M's just on the cusp, and Wisconsin. So over half of those schools are either in the top 25 right now or at least receiving votes.
That is very impressive. Very impressive, to say the least.
So that's going to be the big key for Carolina Forest to stop on defense. And we were talking before the broadcast, you know, you played corner a little bit in middle school and in JV. How do you go up? How do you prepare for a wide receiver of that caliber, knowing that you're going to have to stand right against him and face off against him one-on-one? Or do you want a little bit of help from behind? Do you want to, potentially double team him? But like we talked about, A.J. Brand, no slouch either, going to Virginia Tech, and he is a dual threat quarterback.
Yeah, these guys, these corners, you see we have Zay Wins, we have Ethan Gardner, whoever they decide to put on him tonight to watch. They're walking around, not even at practice, school, during the school day. They're hearing it from all their classmates. Yeah. So you have to guard this 4-star recruit, this junior with all these offers. That's already starts to get into your head a little bit. That factor plays a little bit.
How do you keep that? Because, I know this is coach speak and everything. Coaches always say and players always say, oh, it's just another game when it comes to either a rivalry game or a game like this that with a high caliber opponent. They'll always say, oh, this is just another game. We prepare the same way as we always do. But especially in high school, like you said, kids know. They're looking at 24/7 and ESPN and On3, and they're seeing that, oh, this wide receiver's getting offers from everyone. And like you said, I'm sure, Charles McCray and Xavier Wins and Carson Kwan and Jelani Althea are hearing it in school. Hey, you have to go up against this 4-star recruit. How do you handle that? How do you keep going into this game, especially at this level? How do you keep those thoughts and that pressure out of your head?
It's a lot of mental toughness. And I know all these guys personally. They're all very mentally tough. And tonight's going to show that. Because not only do you have the physical aspect guarding a 4-star receiver all night, a very tall task in its own, the mental aspect sort of plays into that too, just like we mentioned. So it's not only going to show their physical ability, their ability to guard as a corner, as a safety, it's also going to show their mental ability and how strong they can be play after play and just come out and do the same thing over and over again.
Now we should have talked about this earlier on in the week, and you should have interviewed either Wins or one of the secondary guys. But with the national anthem coming up, we will jump on to Brogan's interview with defensive end Quillen Johnson. So we'll step aside for that and then come back with some final thoughts and get you ready for kickoff here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network.
I'm Brogan Hillman, Panthers broadcaster here with KJ, Panthers defensive tackle. Now, KJ, obviously last week was a tough loss. Yeah. How you guys looking to bounce back from that? Are you preparing any differently? And how you looking going into the Irmo game this week?
We really just coming out with a new mindset, coming out with a new mindset to kill, a new mindset to get better. Against Huff, we came out first half, came out great. And then we just let the penalties get to our mind. And we had a lot of things going on. Came out hot at halftime, at least I would think so. And then things just fell down, but we picking things back up. Everything, chemistry's getting better. We're just trying to lock in on defense and worry about what we have to do and let the O take over.
That's right. Is that loss to Huff make this week any more personal for you guys?
It definitely does, because it sets a standard. Like, people see that we lost 41-0, but some people really didn't watch the game. Some people really don't know, so they don't really know how the game went. And we really could have won that game. We had a very great opportunity to win that game, but some things just not meant for us. So I feel like God just put this pressure on us so we can get better.
That's right. And for you, I asked the same question to Fox last week, obviously as a junior. You as well as a junior on that D-line, being a starter. What does it mean for you to come out and be a starter on the squad as a junior?
It means a lot. You know what I mean? It's not too many people that get this opportunity, especially at this age and at this route that they're going to. But I feel very entitled into this defense, entitled to this team, and I feel like I can really pick it up and take it a long way, especially going into my senior year.
That's right. We know Irmo's a very talented team, a lot of playmakers at every position, much like how you guys sort of coming out and preparing for that stacked offense, and what are you looking for really with that offense?
It's not really that we're worried about anything on that offense. Not really trying to bicker at anything on that offense. It's just going out there doing our jobs. You know what I mean? It's not too much that we have to worry about. Obviously, we have to get that QB down, but you know what I mean. Other than that, we'll be fine.
Gotcha. And for you, again, you have one more year after this. What are you sort of looking to take out of this year as a junior going into senior year next season?
This year is just warm up, man. Just practice. Just getting me ready for the real thing. I mean, obviously this year is a lot to deal with, a lot to take in, but there's more things I got to do, more things that come with timelines, stuff like that. So I got to get a lot better. And this year is just getting me better, ready for the next year.
That's really right. Very excited to see you come out this game Friday against Irmo. Home game, make sure to be here. 7 o'clock, make sure to tune in. 6:45, preview starts on Carolina Forest Panthers Sports Network. Make sure to tune in and watch live there on air. KJ, I appreciate you coming out here doing this interview. Best of luck this season.
Appreciate it.
Good luck against Irmo.
Appreciate it, man.
Quillen kind of mentioned it there a little bit on the defensive end side, having to deal with Brand as the quarterback. The pressure of that. But did you get a chance to talk to any of the secondary guys this week about how they're preparing again for a wide receiver the caliber of Murph?
I was just actually on the field not too long ago, probably 2 hours ago, prior to pregame, talking to Carson Quant, who was just out there, first guy out in the field, warming up, getting his mind ready, catching some punts, just getting, mentally grounded. And I think his big thing was just staying in the moment, just knowing that nothing is too big, that this task, he's tasked with it for a reason. He's out here for a reason. He's a dog on this defense, and he just reminds himself of that. He's coming out here warming up, just staying strong in what he believes and what he knows, and he knows that he can match up with anyone in this state, and he knows he has a tall task tonight, but he is all ready for this task, and I'm very excited to see this whole secondary go out and attack that. I'm very excited to see the secondary match up against these tough receivers.
Yes, tough indeed. And like you mentioned there, and like we mentioned last week and the week before, this has been the Mark Morris MO forever, but especially over the last couple of years has been this 3-game non-region gauntlet that he puts this team through to prepare them for the region schedule. What do you deem? Obviously, we had the disappointing tie against Hartsville with the weather and everything. Doesn't look, hopefully, fingers crossed, it doesn't look like there's going to be any rain tonight, even though there was some in the forecast, and a few teams actually moved their games up to last night in order to avoid it. But it looks like we're smooth sailing for tonight. But obviously, you have the tie against Hartsville, the disappointing loss last week. What would constitute a strong showing in these 3 games for Carolina Forest that would give you confidence going into region play in a couple of weeks?
I think either way, tonight, regardless of the result, you go up against, obviously we know, 3-star quarterback in Brand. You have the receiver, the very talented receiver. You just match up. Match up these guys, size them up. You don't have to come out here and dominate them. You don't have to come out here and get an electric win. You don't even have to get the win. You just have to show that you're capable of standing here with these guys, showing why you are here, why you're matched up against them in the first place, and just really showing your mental toughness and not letting the moment get too big for you. Regardless, win, loss, it's just showing your mental capability and also your physical capability to just match up with some of the top dogs in the state.
The coin toss has just happened. Looks like Irmo Irmo won the toss, and they will elect to receive to start the game. So Carolina Forest gets the ball in the second half. I always kind of like that. I like if I win the toss, I like to defer to get that second half. And in case you do start falling behind a little bit, you have that chance to come back. You get that kind of essentially extra possession to start off the second half as the Panthers are getting ready to take the field for this game, this big game tonight. And there they go out of the sheet onto the field.
And I definitely agree with you here. When you come saying deferring, so you receive the ball second half, I definitely agree with you there. Interesting for Irmo to win the coin toss, elect to receive. I think they want to get their playmakers out there as soon as possible.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. For a team like Irmo, where they have that dynamic offense, yes, they do have one defensive player who has Division I offers. He's actually a sophomore. So he's going to be a big deal over the next couple of years, but he's the only one that's really that big-time athlete on the defensive side. The Irmo team is an offensive team, so they obviously want to get the ball. Every single game that they've played this year, they have scored exactly 35 points.
And that's impressive. Landed right on the dot. They're consistent.
And let me ask you a question, because it's kind of an opposite. It's basically two opposite outcomes for these two teams last week. Obviously, Carolina Forest getting dominated by Huff. Irmo actually played a fellow North Carolina team in Butler last week, and they won that game 35-34 in overtime. So how does that come into play in this one, having to put that little extra effort in last week?
Yeah, they played a thriller. It looks, just looking straight up at the score, 35-34 overtime, you got to imagine that was pretty electric. And again, just like you mentioned, it took a lot. So we'll see tonight if they come out and there has any effect on that overtime. You got to believe a team like Irmo is well coached. They're ready for this matchup coming in. You shouldn't really see too much effect from that overtime game last week. If anything, I think they're going to come out electric, ready, and they want to show last week that game shouldn't even have really went to overtime if you are a Yellow Jacket. But it is electric in here.
It is. So real quick before the kickoff, before the Jennifer Mullen Realty One Group Dockside kickoff, keys to the game for the Panthers.
I would say my keys are obviously matching up on that big 4-star receiver. Just limiting his progress, limiting what he can do, and getting to the quarterback, much like Huff was able to do Patrick Mullen last week. Just get to A.J. Brandon, make it hard for him to sit back in that pocket.
The kickoff is up, and Irmo will take it down to the 32-yard line. Then that's where they will start on offense, and this will be the first time for the Panthers to have to deal with this dynamic offense. That was Darius Goodson on the return. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Brand takes a snap, hands the ball off on the first play, trying to break it to the outside around the corner, but only getting a gain of a couple is Amir White. They will say he was able to get 6, so it'll be 2nd and 4 as White just plowed through, was able to just get it around the corner to be able to get a little bit of space and get a good gain to start this game off.
Just going straight to that ground and pound offense start off here.
Kind of surprising considering how dynamic the passing game is. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Basically sell the run as another big gain by Amir White. He breaks through the middle of the line and gets it all the way up to the Carolina Forest 42-yard line. And White is showing that he's a good athlete as well. This isn't just a passing team. The running game can go as well, and the Yellow Jackets get a first down.
That's exactly right. We talked so much about that pass game. They want to come out here and show that they can run the ball too. 2 plays, 2 runs going all good into Panther territory.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Brand takes the snap. Now he'll throw. 2-step drop, looking down the field and lofting it deep into the end zone. And it is Caught! Oh no, they will say he dropped it. It tried to go to Murph, and Murph just could not corral it, falling down as he was trying to get it.
Look there at his safety with him stride for stride.
Yeah.
Played that ball real well. Great job sort of restricting himself a little bit, not getting there early. You know, got to watch it nowadays. Those pass interference, they don't call those lightly.
And that's going to be the key, is going to be staying with Murph, making sure he's not able to get that separation and allow him to actually, and I think there was a penalty.
They might have booked him on that
I think
pass
they
interference.
did book him on the pass interference. So that will push the ball up to the 27-yard line of Carolina Forest. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Now they'll motion the man over to the near side. Now back out. Hands it off, trying to find a hole, but this time wrapped up after a gain of 5 is White.
That's a great job on the end there. Outside linebacker Joe Dial to just sort of get around and restrict the run there. Could have been a lot more if he didn't set that edge and bring him down to 5.
He was still able to get 6 diving forward. So it'll be a 2nd and 4 for Irmo. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Now everyone on the near side. Snap, they'll run speed option, keeping himself, trying to break around the corner is Brand, and he will get corralled out of bounds at around the, they'll say he got pushed out of bounds at the 18-yard line. So
right
that'll be just short of the line to gain, so it'll be 3rd and inches for Irmo.
You put the ball in the hands of your big quarterback, you have everyone blocking, you just let them run.
And this is a big play right here early on in this game for the Panthers. If you can hold this Irmo offense to 3, that's a big victory, especially after it looked like they were about to dominate on the first drive. High snap, they'll hand it off. White finds a hole. He gets the first down and more before getting taken down at the 11-yard line.
And so far, we've seen just Irmo coming out in that ground and pound offense. You take the shot down deep, you draw the penalty, then you just put it right back on the ground.
And very surprising, and Irmo's basically coming out in the beginning of this game and saying, hey, you were preparing for our passing game, we can run it too.
Showing off all sides of their game.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. H-back and another receiver on the near side. Lots of motion by the H-back. Now he moves over to the far side. Snap, rolling out to his right. Looking. Brand has to step up in the pocket. Now he steps forward and he'll run it himself, and he will just step his way into the end zone. No one on the near side, and Brand just waltzes his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And that shows the athletic ability there of A.J. Brand. Being able to roll around in the pocket. He rolls right. He does not like what he sees. He has no man. Rolls back left. Traverses the field, and he is wide open for that touchdown.
The threat of Brand's arm and Murph forced the Panther defense, the entire defense went right. And then Brand just took it the other way, just completely reversed course, and he had a wide open field in front of him on the left side.
That's what a dynamic team does. Makes it very, very hard to cover because you're looking out for a million things at once.
The extra point is up and good by Tucker Williams, and that will put 7 on the board for the Yellow Jackets with just over 9 minutes left to go in the first quarter. We'll take a quick break, come right back with more Carolina Forest Panther football action.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Panther offense now getting set to take the field for their first time tonight and look to answer after the Yellow Jackets put 7 on the board on their first drive. And this is going to be one of those games I feel that the Panther offense is going to need to do work in order to keep them in the game.
That's exactly right.
As a good return back by Caden Cole brings it up to the 29-yard line, and that's where the Panthers will start on offense.
And in order for the Panthers to do that, they have to establish this run game. They have to do it early, something they were not able to do last week against Huff, and that shows for it with that 41-0 result.
And kind of like I mentioned, the one strong suit for the Irmo for their defense is Jaden Bryant, the defensive end, who has offers from Virginia Tech and Miami, Ohio. So they're gonna have to keep it away from here. Speed option to start off. Fox gets the pitch. He gets a hole, and he brings it down to the 39-yard line. Good speed option for Carolina Forest, and that will get them a Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down.
And already, rush for 10 yards. That's the longest run in 2 weeks. Did not see a run near that last week. Already coming off first run, you're able to get 10 yards, move the chains.
They'll actually mark him down at the 40, so it'll be 1st and 10 from there. Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. They'll hand it off to Fox again. Fox gets a lane and gets a gain of 8. And Jaron Fox, after the rough week last week against Huff, looks like he's right back to where he looked against Hartsville and West Brunswick in the beginning of the season.
That's exactly right. And I saw him during warm-ups. He did not look at anyone. He did not smile at anyone. He was walking around. He was all business.
He's ready to show what he's made of tonight. They'll go 2 running back set. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. And whistle is blown now. Oh, just getting ready to play. They'll take the snap. Triple option. Pitches it out. And it's on the ground. And a whistle is blown. I don't understand why. Are they going to say it was a forward pass?
I don't. It looks like that ref on the far side signaled incomplete there.
That's what I'm thinking. Was that? It looked like it was at least a lateral. That might have been a very, very lucky break for the Panthers.
To me,
because there were a couple of Yellow Jackets right there to pick it up.
Definitely sort of looked like a Saved by the Bell situation. I believe that was a lateral. Not sure about the pass call there. They'll call it. Looks incomplete.
Yeah, it looks like they're setting him up. Or no, they're moving him. No, never mind. They just put him where they were at. Heavy set now, hands off to Fox, and this time he gets wrapped up big time. That is Jaden Bryant right there, the defensive end with some D1 offers, taking down Jaron Fox in the backfield, and that'll set up a 4th and 9. And the Panthers will punt.
He is there to make his presence known early. All of their big playmakers so far have made their presence known.
6'4", 230 as a sophomore.
That is just I don't have a comment for that. You know? I'm trying to think of something to say. There's nothing to say to that.
Snap, punt is up, and it'll bring the Irmo returner back to the 20-yard line. He'll get a bit of a hole and get all the way up to around the 45-yard line. We'll see where they mark him out of bounds. They will say he got up to the 44-yard line. And so that sets Irmo up with some good field position to start off their second drive of the evening. Oh, there is a flag, however, so this may get pushed back. And Coach Morris is talking to one of the officials, presumably about this flag.
And it seemed like the punt itself was pretty good off the leg there of Roman Fisher. Just a good return by the Irmo return man to get it all the way back.
There's a reason why that return was so good. It was an illegal block in the back.
Those help. Those definitely help out.
So that'll push Irmo back to the Looks like they'll mark him. They'll mark them at the 20, around the 20. Yeah, they're marching all the way back to the 17-yard line. So that big return, just negate that.
Moves him all the way back to around the spot he caught the
Yeah.
ball. So just treat it like a fair catch.
Yep, pretty much. So Irmo comes back on offense trying to do what they did on their first drive again when they just methodically moved the ball down the defense's throat. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. 3-step drop for Bram. Now he steps up into the pocket. He'll try to run it, but a good job by the Panthers keeping him contained, and he's still pushing forward. No whistle yet, and now there's a scrum going on. Still no whistle. I don't know where they're going to mark him down. I thought they were going to mark him down at basically when they stopped forward progress, but I didn't hear a whistle. And they're going to mark it all the way down to the 34 or to the 29-yard line, and that'll be enough for an Irmo first down.
And that right there,
you never see that in high school.
That's insane. That's just not giving up on the play. Weight room, all these guys pushing and moving.
That was a rugby scrum right there. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. 3-step drop for Brand. Brand looking deep again, lofting it into the air, and it is incomplete. Trying to get it to Murph, and Murph was looking for a flag. And yeah, they're going to get a flag on this one.
That one we could have thrown from the box.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's something I feel we're going to see a lot tonight. These Panther secondary guys just trying to contain Murph and in the process getting a lot of pass interferences.
And it's very easy to subconsciously try to play the ball, but you accidentally play the man without even realizing early, and especially when you're playing against a guy like a 4-star.
Well, exactly. That subconscious worry of, oh my God, I'm facing off against a 4-star athlete. You're gonna inevitably make mistakes just that you wouldn't against other receivers, just because of you're worried about it getting burnt.
That's exactly right, and that's where the mental aspect really comes into play when playing against some of these tough guys like that.
So that'll make it 1st and 10 on the 44-yard line. Shotgun setup, 2 wide on the near side. Brand takes a snap, 1-step drop, screen passes caught, and getting a lane and getting taken down after a gain of 4 is Malik Miller. Make that a gain of 7, actually. He got a few extra yards. Dragging a Panther defender with him.
That's right.
That just shows the strength of this receiving core for Irmo.
Exactly, and he shows the ability to shake off some defenders in the open field there. Catches it right about the line of scrimmage, and he just makes some moves on the first defender there. Gets it all the way up. Good gain there of 7 there from Malik Miller.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Brand takes the snap, play action pass, rolls out to his right, looking to the opposite side of the field, lofts it up, and it's caught by the tight end, and he'll just walk his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Joey Albritton, the tight end, with the reception. Everyone's getting involved for Irmo tonight, and yeah, early on, hate to say it, looks like it's going to be a long night.
And that's just a quick stand in the pocket, took his first read down the sideline, didn't like it, set his feet, looked cross-body, his tight end running a little crosser there out of the set, and he was wide open with the run, puts it right in his body.
Yeah, he was looking. He was looking cross-body. Evan Singletary, the slot receiver, was on the near side. Looked like he was at least semi-open, but decided to go to his tight end. A little Travis Kelce type of action right there. And Tucker Williams puts the ball through the goalposts once again. And with just under 6 minutes left to go, 14-0, Irmo in the lead here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network.
Jennifer Mullen with Realty One Group Dockside is a 31-year resident with 18 years of experience representing both buyers and sellers. Jennifer has extensive knowledge of the Grand Strand real estate market and especially the Carolina Forest area. If you're ready to kick off your home search, contact Jennifer Mullen at yourcoastalrealtor.com. Again, that's Jennifer Mullen at www.yourcoastalrealtor.com.
Kickoff is up, taken at the 7-yard line, trying to find a lane, but nowhere to go as a hive of Yellow Jackets takes the Panther returner down at the 21-yard line. Kane Cole with the return.
And you're only 2 drives from Irmo into this game, and you're already sensing the urgency to get that offense established. Right now, if you're the Panthers, you have to put together a drive, and you have to go down, and you have to maneuver something to put some life into this team.
And what doesn't help is, this reminds me of the game against Somerville a couple of years ago with their dynamic offense, and you just knew that the Panther offense had to go toe-to-toe with them and go drive for drive to keep the game at least close. And this isn't offenses of the past. Yes, Jaron Fox has had good games against Hartsville, against West Brunswick, but last week he was shut down. And it seems like that's really the only big play generator for the Panthers this year thus far has been the running game. So if you're not able to get the running game going, you're toast.
That's right.
And so the Panthers really have to get something going on this drive if they have any hope of just keeping this game even close. Early on in this game, this is a must-score drive already.
Absolutely.
For Carolina Forest.
Absolutely.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side from their own 20. Snap, 1-step drop, throws a slant route and almost gets it picked. Trying to get it to Quavon Ward, but both Darius Goodson and Kyle Mitchell were right there. And it looked like Mitchell could have potentially gotten the interception.
That's right. He sort of ran that route step for step with Quay right there. Let him sort of inside near the DB. Dangerous pass. Lucky to see that one hit the turf. 2nd and 10. You get the ball back. You got to dial up something here. Again, this is a dynamic drive.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Low snap. Hands it off to Ward. Ward just tries to plow forward, but a hive of Yellow Jackets push him back. They will say he got a gain of 4, so it'll be 3rd and 6.
Big 3rd down here the Panthers are tasked with. You need to convert. You need to get downfield. And just like we mentioned, you need to keep the momentum to a minimum, and you need to instill life into this offense.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side for the Panthers. Mullen takes a snap, 3-step drop, looking far side, throwing it towards the sideline, and it is incomplete. Tried to get it out to Raheem Frazier, but just out of reach. Would have been a tough catch for him even if it was on target right at the sideline. But either way, it's a 4th down, and now they got to punt it again.
That's right. And that's not what you want to see if you're a Panthers fan. The punt unit coming back onto the field, definitely not what you needed. And like you mentioned, that would have been a tough catch there on the sideline. He would have had to do a great job getting his feet down and just making sure he has that toe drag there. But in the end, it doesn't matter.
High snap, punches off, and a whistle is blown before the snap or before the punt can be made. This may be a false start on the Panthers, and it is. So that'll just push them back even further, making this punt even trickier for Carolina Forest.
And a self-inflicted wound is not what you need in that situation, especially playing a team as tough as Irmo. You need to keep all those to a minimum as much as possible.
Roman Fisher will try once again to punt it away. This time he'll be punting from his own 6-yard line. not exactly where you want to be punting from.
Definitely not ideal.
No. Snap. It's a high punt, but a short one. It'll take a Carolina Forest bounce and be fielded at the 49-yard line. Oh, no, it'll actually bounce a little further down to the 47-yard line of Irmo.
We would like to thank our corporate sponsor.
And the Yellow Jackets are going to take over in good territory, just knocking on the door already of Panthers territory without even running a play in this drive.
And that's definitely not what you want to give this powerful Yellow Jacket offense, is a short field.
Not at all.
So Irmo will start on their own 47-yard line. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. No one on the near side for the Yellow Jackets. Brand takes a snap, 2-step drop, looking far side, throwing it strong over near the 40-yard line, and it is caught by Malik Miller. And that will be enough for an Irmo first down. And Malik Miller, just a nice little comeback route right there. Was covered decently well, but, I mean, kind of like what we talked about in the pregame, especially with how much of a threat Donovan Murphy is, do you double-team him and potentially leave some of these other receivers open?
And again, that's another tricky thing when you're playing such a dynamic offense with so many options. You put 2 on one guy, you're accounting for less on another who's talented in himself.
This time Brand is held up. Good coverage. Not even a coverage sack, but coverage stop on that play, as Brand had nowhere to go with the ball, both passing wise and the defensive line kept him contained very well, and he just had to throw it away. So it'll be a 2nd and 10 now.
And that is a positive and a sea full of negatives here for that Panthers defense.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Brand this time hands it off, trying to find a hole. Good job by the Panthers containing White and keeping him to no gain.
And that is relentless there from that D-line. You see that stiff arm there from White sort of trying to come out, and Weinglass just does not let him land it, does not get off of him, and eventually brings him down right at that line of scrimmage.
Yeah, great job by Jalen Weinglass coming in to make the tackle. And this is the best the defense has been all game thus far, with 3.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Down by 14.
That's exactly right. Holding him to 0 yards on 2 plays. That is a positive for this Panthers defense for sure.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. Snap, 3-step drop. Stepping up into the pocket now. Brand tries to do it himself. Now rolls out. Still on his feet. Still using his elusiveness. Is able to get through. He's going. He's still up. And gets finally taken down at the 15-yard line. What an astounding play by the Virginia Tech commit, A.J. Brand. Pulling a Patrick Mahomes right there. Just elusiveness like nobody's business.
And you brought it up. You mentioned the Virginia Tech commit part. That's exactly where I was about to go with that. You see why he has the interest of all these schools and why he is committed to such a prestigious program like Virginia Tech. Not everyone can do that. That is cream of the crop, special ability right there. There was nothing, and he creates something, and more than something at that, with a huge run.
And that's what's amazing about this offense. Now they'll go with a screen pass. Tries to get it out to Murph. Murph, great job right there by the Panthers, containing him on the screen pass. A good tackle by Christian Bird on the screen. He was not having it, and that is a loss of 1 for Irmo.
That's exactly right.
Actually, they'll say he just got back to the line, so it'll be 2nd and 10. There is a flag, however.
See here.
It's a holding on Irmo, so that'll push him back a bit. But like I was saying before, in this drive, the Panthers secondary has actually done a very good job of containing the Yellow Jacket wide receivers, but Brand's elusiveness and his speed and just ability to make something out of nothing has been what has cost them. Even when the defensive line looks like they've at least contained him, no, you haven't.
And that's where that 3-star label gets thrown around. He's earned it, and he's showing off why right there.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. This time Brand shows his arm off and just a little out of reach, trying to get it to Murph in the end zone. And that'll bring up a 2nd and 21.
You have a big run such as that, and then right after, you come out, you set your feet. We saw earlier in a drive prior, setting his feet, making a crazy crossbody pass to a wide-open tight end. As soon as you think you have something going your way on the defensive side of the ball, Brand comes out and pulls something out of nowhere. That just makes you think, what else do I have to account for? I'm doing everything right. This guy just keeps pulling stuff out of nowhere.
So it'll be 2nd and 21 from the Carolina Force 27. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. Brand takes a snap, 3-step drop, looking down the field, now steps up into the pocket and launches one into the near side, caught, and stepping into the end zone is Malik Miller. And that'll be another Irmo touchdown, and we mentioned it. Yeah, Donovan Murphy is the #1 receiver and getting all these offers, but Malik Miller has shown that he's no slouch either, even though he hasn't gotten any offers yet. And there is a flag, however.
And I think this one is coming back, which that's going to push Irmo back. See, 2nd and 25 or so coming up here for that Yellow Jacket offense.
It's going to be a holding on Irmo. So that'll push him all the way back to the 37-yard line and make it 2nd and 32. So it'll be a 10-yard penalty, so it'll make it 2nd and 32 now. And, hey, penalty, you got to take advantage here. You have to stop Irmo from scoring on this drive with all the self-inflicted wounds that the Yellow Jackets have had on this drive thus far. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Moving the tight end over, now back over to the near side. Snap, looking, pressure on Brand, and a great job by the Panthers getting some pressure into Brand's face. Tried to throw a screen pass to Murph, but the Panther defensive line was just right in Brand's face, stopping him from being able to get a clear pass off.
And this D-line is showing great signs of life right now. We've seen past couple plays, run, go for 0. Brand, giving them pressure, just like we mentioned, key plays to this game, giving Brand pressure in that pocket. They're doing just that on this drive, and they're showing that they're going to have a long 3rd down coming up.
Looks like there might be another penalty. Yeah, it's going to be a chop block or a personal foul on Irmo, and that'll push him back even further.
I know. We might see 2nd and 83 coming up sometime soon.
Not quite, but this is like some of my college football 25 games where you get holding after holding after holding, and it just finally gets pushed back to 2nd. Now it's 2nd and 48. 2nd and half of the field to go.
We'll see here. Call up C. Now you put the ball in Brand's hands. But it's really going to see what he's made of now.
That's what I was going to say. Even with this long of a field, with how dynamic of an offense Irmo has, the Panthers do not need to be complacent here.
That's exactly right.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Snap, 3-step drop. Brand launches it deep, and it is almost intercepted and caught. Caught running down the sideline into the end zone for a touchdown by Malik Miller.
And just like that, we mentioned it pre-snap. They go right to Malik Miller, the receiver that received the touchdown that got called back plays prior, and now he's right back in the end zone.
I think that ball got tipped, and he looked like he came out of nowhere.
You mentioned it, the dynamic offense to come out. You cannot count out even when you're 2nd and 48. And they just went.
The broadcaster's jinx strikes again.
That's exactly right.
I told them, you cannot be complacent, and sure enough, they give up a 53-yard touchdown. The extra point is up and good, and with 1:47 left to go in the first quarter, it is already 21-0 Irmo. We'll take a quick break and come right back with more Carolina Forest Panther football action.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back as the kick is up and whistles are blown. It will go. There is a flag. I think the ball went out of bounds. But either way, Panthers will start on offense, just trying to get something going offensively. And I know we've talked about it before. And Preston and I talked about it over the last couple of years. And obviously it hasn't hurt them over the last couple of years. And maybe in some ways it has helped them prepare for the playoffs and whatnot. But and they're actually going to re-kick. But is it a good thing to have this 3-game automatic loss gauntlet that you get each year with Mark Morris in the non-region schedule?
I think it is. I think everyone will look at it and say a loss is a loss. It's a negative thing. I don't really look at it that way. I approach it with you are playing top talent in the state. Yeah. Irmo, we said their lowest rank in a poll is 6.
Yeah.
Then we had Huff last week, who has crazy talent all around the board. You're matching up. You're seeing crazy schemes, crazy teams that they're going to go very far into their respected playoff, however far they want to go.
Irmo is one of the favorites to win, especially because they're the lower end of 5A, so they're in the lower bracket of 5A. And so they're one of the favorites to win it all this year, as the kickoff is taken down to the 22-yard line, and that's where the Panthers will start on offense. But, yeah, I get that, you are preparing for, you do want to see this top talent, even if you are losing, get ready for some of the top talent. But it seems like it's always this way every year, or at least for the last 3 years now, as they'll go jet sweep, trying to get it around the corner and able to get down to the 26-yard line is Caden Cole. That was your Jennifer Mullen with Realty One Group Dockside kickoff.
And going back to what we mentioned earlier, I believe that playing these tough teams, having these performances, such as the Huff game, such as this game we're in right now, it will show once we get into region play, and we will translate a lot better into region play because of it.
They'll go fake jet sweep. They'll hand it off to Fox, and he will get plowed down with a loss of a couple. Jaden Bryant again getting in there for the tackle, along with Stephen Hill.
And, you mentioned it. He's 6'4", 230 as a sophomore.
Yep.
A sophomore.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Mullen takes the snap, 3-step drop, looking down the middle of the field, throws it deep, and it is out of the reach of Quavon Ward.
See there, you have your speedy receiver, one-on-one coverage on the sideline. You want to give him a chance. See if you can get that ball down a little more. It looked like Quay had a step there.
Yeah.
That would have been a nice gain there for the Panthers offense. But instead, they bring out Roman Fisher and company for the punting unit for the 3rd time this game.
Yep, got to punt it away yet again with less than a minute left to go in the first quarter. And, you talked about it before. yes, this definitely prepares you for the region play, and we'll talk about it during halftime, but with how the rest of the region is playing against lesser opponents, might I add, I think the Panthers are going to be okay once we get into region play, but still, it's one of those, it's definitely a roller coaster ride as that ball is deflected. It bounces off of an Irmo player, and the Panthers might have come up with it.
And I think here we are seeing guys flying down the field, Panthers hitting Yellow Jackets, stirring up some tension on the sideline. They're getting after each other. See some flags fly. We expect to see some personal fouls here thrown.
Yeah, and the coaches came onto the field even to make sure that everyone's separated, and it looks like there might be a Irmo player on the field. A bunch of coaches and medical personnel around him. I think it might have been a helmet-to-helmet.
For number 16,
Zion Gates,
Nice to see him on
the player down, and he'll get up and walk off on his own power, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, and they were just flying down the field there on that punt return.
And we'll wait to see what the penalty call is.
Pads were popping, guys were flying. That was a physical punt down. Refs discussing, going to see, might move this ball up here for the Yellow Jackets. Not really sure where those personal fouls are going to come into play. Going to see here what the refs discussing.
Long discussion, and now we'll get the official call from the referee. Oh, no. Oh, here we go. Yep. Personal foul, and I think it is a targeting on Carolina Forest. In high school, I don't believe there's any ejections or anything.
I don't believe so.
But that will move the ball up 15 yards for Irmo. Move it all the way up into Carolina Forest territory to start off the drive. It'll be on the Carolina Forest 36-yard line. And again, like we talked about on the last drive, you do not want to give this Yellow Jacket offense prime real estate to start off the drive. And because of the penalty, even without the penalty, it would have given them some decent field position to start off. But with the penalty, they're already set up big. Fake screen pass and thrown out and caught along the sidelines. Caught by number 19, Anton Jones.
And we see another flag flying here from the back official. If we were...
This one may be coming back. This may be a holding.
I believe this one is a holding. If we were to count the amount of times we've seen flags fly just in the first quarter, it's getting up there.
Yeah, and it is going to be a hold. It's been a pretty crazy first quarter. But like I was saying earlier, and we'll talk about it during halftime, with how Region 6 is going thus far, I think we'll be okay once Region play wraps around. But that's for the last 3 years, it's been this way for Panther football. Week 1, dominate West Brunswick. Week 2 through 4, get crushed by top-level South Carolina programs. Or, in this year, North Carolina as well. As that pass is thrown out to Malik Miller again on the slant route. And with how he's playing tonight, it's only a matter of time, you'd have to imagine, before he starts getting some offers too. He's no slouch either, and he's 5'11", 170.
That's right. He's a talented little ball player out there, and he is making a name for himself. You're exactly right. I would not be surprised we see some offers go his way. We see his name called definitely in the future.
And that will end the first quarter. So after one, it is 21-0. Irmo in the lead. We'll take a quick break and come right back with the second quarter here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network.
Jennifer Mullen with Realty One Group Dockside is a 31-year resident with 18 years of experience representing both buyers and sellers. Jennifer has extensive knowledge of the Grand Strand real estate market and especially the Carolina Forest area. If you're ready to kick off your home search, contact Jennifer Mullen at yourcoastalrealtor.com. Again, that's Jennifer Mullen at www.yourcoastalrealtor.com.
Start of the second quarter about to arrive. But like I was mentioning, it's been this way for the past 3 years. First week, dominate West Brunswick. Weeks 2 through 4 get dominated by top-level programs. And then you have the one or two, this year one, other region game where it's a relatively easy win. And then you get into region play and you're fine. It builds that character. It builds, that understanding of what it takes to win. But it's still a rough patch these weeks. And I mean, granted, Hartsville, they played much better than they played against some other programs, as Irmo will take it down the sideline.
Yeah, they waste no time going right back to the air there.
Yeah.
That's a great toe drag reception there.
That one by Murph. Surprise.
Definitely no surprise there.
And it'll be another Irmo first down at the Carolina Forest 15.
And again, he just does a great job getting his feet down, making sure he tracks along that sideline, staying in, moving that ball straight into the red zone of the Panthers, fast at that.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Brand takes a snap, hands it off. No, keeps it himself, and he's got a wide open lane, makes one man miss, and steps his way into the end zone for the touchdown. And A.J. Brand, I told you he's a dual threat quarterback, and he's been showing it tonight.
He has shown no signs of stopping, of slowing down. He does it with his legs. He does it with his arm. He creates something out of nothing, time and time again, and he is just so hard to account for.
He made Ethan Gardner look foolish right there on that juke move.
I hate to admit it. I love Ethan. He did. I'll have to give him a hard time about that after the game.
And the extra point is up and good. And with half a minute coming off the clock in the second quarter, is already 28-0. And unfortunately, I know it's still early, but we need to start talking about the potential of this going on the record books tonight.
That's right.
We talked about it last week. Fortunately, it didn't happen. Granted, I mean, trying to make light of a bad situation, we might get out of here a little early this week.
That's right. You got to always
the 42-point margin that is required to get a running clock may come into play pretty early tonight.
And you mentioned it, watching the stat book for the biggest margin of loss. Marion number 5 there, 51-0, 51-point differential. We're not too far off from that.
Already. And it's only the beginning of the second quarter.
That's right.
That call's going against the yellow.
And a flag is thrown on the kickoff. Another Jennifer Mullen with Realty One Group Dockside kickoff. And that'll push him back, so they'll do it again. This time, 5-yard penalty. I believe it was a false start on Irmo, so they'll push it back to the 35-yard line. Traditional college kickoff this time.
They just want to make it feel more authentic,
Yep.
That's all.
Get A.J. Brand and Donovan Murph ready for the next level.
That's right. They got to show them what they're looking forward to.
The kick will be taken at the 17-yard line and absolutely getting rocked on that one with nowhere to go.
And I believe he muffed that return there, too.
Yeah.
Just lucky to fall back on that one and get it back. He did take a lick, though, for dropping that ball. He definitely paid the price there.
And he'll lose a couple of yards. The Panthers will start on offense at the 15-yard line. And that's not what you need for the Panthers if you have any chance of getting anything going offensively in this one.
We talked about Irmo starting their drives in plus territory, almost in Panthers territory most of the time. For the Panthers, it has not been the same story. They've started most of their drives backed up deep in their own territory.
Yes. Shotgun set, one wide on either side. Actually, they'll go two running back shotgun set. Low snap, hands it off, and still on his feet is Jaron Fox. Actually, that will be Javier Higgins with the carry. And he gets a pretty good gain and gets a Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down. Maybe the number 3 and 4 backs can get a little something going for the Panthers.
That's exactly right. We know this is a running back room that runs deep, especially with Chris Livingston out. Here you have Fox, obviously, at the RB1. Then you have some other guys in there that can move that rock.
They'll hand it off this time to Fox. And he will get a gain of 5. Make that 6. And it'll be a 2nd and 4.
So 2 plays here from the Panthers offense, 2 runs that stretch, one for about 11, 12 yards, and here 6 yards. We're seeing some positive running here on this drive starting to get going.
Take those little victories while you can right now.
That's exactly right. You need to take every little victory you can.
Shotgun set, one wide on either side. And something I just noticed, Cameron Long is in there at quarterback. Low snap, hands it off to Fox again, and this time he gets stood up at the line of scrimmage.
I was just about to mention, I look in that backfield, I think we noticed it about the same time.
I was like, wait a second.
Say, that's not Patrick Mullen in that backfield. That's Cameron Long. They're letting the junior get in this game
early.
That's exactly right. About to start of the second quarter.
But how much of that has to do with Mark Morris basically understanding, okay, this one's pretty much all done and dusted already.
All too much.
There was a penalty, however, on that play, a holding on the Panthers, but Irmo will decline it.
So you're 3rd and about 6. Going to need to drop a great play here. And with Cam, gives you more options. Maybe we see his legs here. We know he loves to take off. A little bit more options here with Cam in at quarterback.
Shotgun set, one wide on either side. Long takes a snap, goes speed option. He'll keep it himself. He'll try to make something out of nothing, but nowhere to go. Great job by the Irmo defense, just wrapping him up and making sure he had nowhere to go on that run. Caden Hall in particular coming from behind and making sure he used his speed to get to Long.
And Cameron Long did just that. Little option play out to the left. He kept it with his legs, tried to make something happen, just couldn't. We know he loves to take off. You could assume you're going to see that on 3rd and long. Unfortunately, Cam Long couldn't get anything going.
And once again, we will see Roman Fisher kick it away. Double kick returners back there, and surprise, surprise, what else is new? We see Donovan Murph back there using his legs to get a big punt return and bring it all the way down to the Carolina Forest 36-yard line. And again, Irmo starting in plus territory.
And you mentioned it. It's not every day you see a 2-return set back there in high school. Very interesting. And it appears they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
This thing worked all the way down. They've been solid on their returns all night. Again, starting in plus territory.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. And yeah, they basically used that two returner set to perfection. The other returner basically blocked for Murph and gave him that added room to get the big punt return. Rolling out to his right is Looking, still looking, throwing it down the sideline. Brand trying to get it out to Murph again, but a little overthrown. Brand again using his feet, rolling out to his right and extending that play, but just nowhere to go. To their credit, in spite of the score, the Panthers defense, the Panthers secondary has done a good job of containing the wide receivers and basically making Brand make some plays. The only reason why Irmo has scored at least half of the touchdowns that they've scored has because of Brand extending plays. That's
exactly right, and that's just what you get out of a special playmaker such as Brand. But the secondary knew they were in for a tall task, and they've been playing pretty decent up to the point right now.
This one, Brand tries to use his arm, tried to get it out to Murph on the far side on a go route, but just a little overthrown, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
And just as you mentioned it, a Panther DB stride for stride, making sure that pass sails out towards the sideline, does not let the receiver make a play on it. They have been, we know it's 28-0. We know there's been some struggles with this defense, but overall they have been matching up pretty well to this Irmo offense, to their credit.
So that'll bring up a 3rd and long. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Brand takes the snap, high snap, he'll take it himself, just a design QB sneak, and he will get taken down after a gain of 4, and that'll bring up 4th down. First defensive stop for the Panthers, a little small moral victory there.
And once again, we see a flag on the field.
This one is on the Panthers, it looks like, however.
And exactly when we start to mention it.
Yeah, of course.
Mention getting the defensive stop there, catching Brand out to the sideline, and this one might be replayed on 3rd down.
Or it may give Irmo a 1st down. Waiting on the official call by the ref. 8:45 left to go in the first half. And it's going to be a holding. Oh, no, it's actually a holding on the offense. And I would assume they're going to decline it. No, they're marching back. Why would you accept that penalty when it was 3rd down?
That's interesting.
Unless they assume that Irmo's going to go for it.
Could be that, or it could be the trust Mark Morris has instilled in his defense to go out, make a stop much like that on 3rd down, drawing up a longer 4th down.
Or put them out of field goal range.
That's exactly right.
Because now the ball is at the 46-yard line.
And during warm-ups, we saw these kickers banging out some long ones as well.
Play action pass. Brand is under pressure, but he's able to roll out of a tackle. Throws it. A wide open man on the near side sideline. Malik Miller with the catch. And it'll be another Irmo 1st down. And Malik Miller has been the man tonight. We all thought it was going to be Donovan Murph, but Malik Miller has been wide open tonight and has made some amazing plays thus far in the first half.
Much credit to him. He has been a very incredible receiver tonight, a very incredible young man to watch. And I think the Panthers defense was thinking the same thing going into this matchup. So much anticipation with Murph.
Yeah.
Malik Miller sort of slides under that radar, and he allows him to have a big game sort of uncalled for. Not really expected from the Panther defense. Malik Miller, he's letting them know he's here to play as well.
And again, A.J. Brand using his elusiveness and his running ability and his scrambling ability to extend that play. This ball is lofted up and caught, and another touchdown for Irmo, but this one may be coming back.
Again, like you mentioned, another touchdown, but another flag as well. We have not been a stranger to either of those.
15 penalties in the first half?
Some crazy number. We're getting up there. Not only are we familiar with these touchdowns, we're familiar with these flags too by now.
I think this one's coming back. I think this is going to be a holding.
I would have to agree with that. I think they are going to book him on a holding call here.
Yeah, the ref is coming over to talk to Mark Morris about the penalty.
I think we sort of see the reason that gap sort of opened up so big for that screen pass to be able to just waltz into the end zone. A little misconduct that that allowed for that wide open gap.
Still a discussion, a fairly long discussion. If it was a simple holding call, surprising that you would see this long of a discussion. But
it seems like the Irmo offense moved fairly far back as well. See here, Bookham on another 10-yard holding call. Same sort of situation that booked him all the way back 2nd and 48 a couple drives prior.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's going to be a wait, what? Looks like he pointed towards Carolina Forest.
And there's still been no shift in this Panthers defense. They're still standing at the original line of scrimmage. And then you see the Irmo offense.
Irmo offense expects it to be pushed back. Is it offsetting penalties?
It appears it will be offsetting because this. Oh, now they're moving them up.
I wish that they would mic the refs in high school.
That would be very
okay.
convenient.
It was an unsportsmanlike conduct on Irmo.
So that's going to move him way back.
There was a defensive holding on Carolina Forest, but the unsportsmanlike on Irmo overruled it.
And this is going to bring him all the way back to the Panthers' 45-yard line. And I don't know if Irmo's just comfortable playing so far behind these chains or what.
With how good of an offense you have, it doesn't matter, as they showed a few drives ago.
Yeah. They definitely have big playability, and it doesn't affect them being this far behind the chains. We know that. We saw that.
Even with Donovan Murph out there, watch out for Malik Miller on this play.
And I think that's probably where we're going to try to go here. They know that he has big playability. He's been proving it all night. Why not go right back to him and try to let him do it again?
And more whistles are blown. And another penalty, perhaps? Seven and a half minutes left to go. and Jay Fallon decides to play the Jeopardy music. Brilliant.
Seems fitting.
Brilliant, yeah.
Very fitting for this moment right here. Panthers defense sort of goes back to their sideline, get a little debrief and talk with the coaches here. Got to dial up. Got first in the whole field coming up here, it seems.
Oh, it was a penalty on the pan? Wait, oh, no. Oh, never mind. Okay. Not sure what exactly they called, but either way, they'll still have it at the 45-yard line. Shotgun set, one wide on either side. Screen passes, caught, and wide open space. This time again. Oh no, this time it actually is Murph, and he gets it all the way down to the 13-yard line. Make that the 14-yard line, and that'll bring him up to now it being 3rd and 9. So go from 2nd and 39 to 3rd and 9. A 30-yard gain for Donovan Murph on that screen pass, showing his speed and agility.
And we weren't expecting them to play behind those chains this whole series.
No.
Not near. It took them about a play or two, about expected there for that Irmo offense. Quick fire, quick anticipation, quick plays.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Snap. Hands it off, trying to find a lane. Still on his feet, pushing forward. Will get it close to the line to gain Amir White on the carry. We'll see where they mark him down.
And guess what? I saw something out of the corner of my eye. You're never going to guess what I saw.
What's that?
I saw a yellow penalty flag.
Oh, of course.
A very rare occurrence in this game.
Quite.
2nd and 8.
You blink and you might miss
And the Yellow Jackets are marching back yet again.
Big hand to your cheerleaders.
Yep. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Did he just indicate face mask on the offense?
That's very interesting. It's not every day you see hands to the face.
Yeah. Well, no, it didn't even look like hands to the face. It looked like you did the face mask motion for the offense.
Well, they're going big. If they're getting a penalty,
go big or go home.
They want to get moved back.
2nd and
Not 5 yards back.
15, 20,
That's right.
30, and still managed to score the touchdown.
They want to get back.
So it'll be a 2nd and 14. This time they'll hand it off again. Miller rolls out of the tackle and gets it into the end zone. Excuse me, Amir White with the carry, and he will put it into the end zone for the touchdown. Talk about a dynamic offense. Now we've had 4 players score touchdowns for Irmo.
There is no lack of playmakers.
And it's only the second quarter.
There is no lack of playmakers here for this Irmo offense. And we see it. They get moved back behind the chains.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, well.
No.
Oh, well.
They have dynamic enough players, both running and passing the ball, to score regardless. And now, with just under 7 minutes left to go in the half, it is 35-0. We'll take a quick break, come right back with more Carolina Forest Panther football action.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
6:55 left to go in the half. Panthers trailing 35-0. And this game has gotten out of hand quickly.
That's exactly right. And it's not going to be similar to the Huff game where you go into halftime playing close and then it sort of slips away from you.
This probably will become the reverse of the Huff game because, especially if they end up hitting that 45 mark, I forget if I think it's either 42 or 45. I'll confirm on the next break. But whenever they hit the running clock mark, then it's going to be a situation where probably in the second half with the running clock, and they'll probably bring in the backups, you may get only 7 points by Irmo.
That's exactly right. They're going to call up their bus drivers, tell them, hey, get these buses ready. Running clock, it's going to go fast.
You want to hear the home fans chanting warm up the bus. You don't want to have the visitors wanting the bus warmed up.
It's never good when the visitors want the bus warmed up.
As number 24, Kristen Green on the carry.
Christian Green gets the Jennifer Mullen Realty One Group dockside kickoff. And the Panthers will start on their own 27-yard line.
See Cam Long back there in that backfield again.
And I wonder, I'm hoping that's not because Patrick Mullen is injured. I'm hoping it's just because Mark Morris is basically waving the white flag.
Sort of preserve his quarterback, make sure that in a game such as this.
Low snap, throw on the slant route, trying to get it to Quavon Ward, but incomplete. There is a flag on the play, and I believe this is going to be a pass interference on number 27, Javonte Hill, for Irmo.
And did you say there was a flag on that play?
Yes, I did.
I would have never guessed. Never would have guessed. It just hasn't felt like that type of game.
We've only had about a flag on every, third play or so?
That seems about right. Seems about.
And
unfortunately.
looks like it's going to be a pass interference on Irmo.
Ball comes out to the 42-yard
Yep.
line. It's
I
first
was right.
down for the Panthers.
So, a little lucky break for the Panthers as they get a first down off of the pass interference. So it'll be 1st and 10, ball on the 42-yard line. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Hands off. Ward gets a lane. He's on his feet and gets the first down and more.
Number 32, Higgins.
Oh, that's actually Higgins with the carry.
14, Jamar Grissett. And it looks like another.
And that was an explosive run. He found his hole. He did not wait up for 1 second. He turned on his turbos.
And
And I saw it.
Stop yourself.
I saw it as soon as I was starting to get passionate there, and I look on the field, and you're not going to believe what I saw.
You see yellow.
I see too much yellow.
And yeah, this is going to be a – there's a reason why Javier Higgins was able to get such a big game.
Seemed too good to be true there for a second, and it turned out to be.
So that'll make it a second and – oh, actually, they're going to give it up in the field, so it'll be a 2nd and 3 or 2nd and 2 from the 50-yard line. Shotgun set. They'll hand it off, and this time the defense was right there. Cameron Long on the read option keeps it himself, and a hive of Yellow Jackets take him down.
2nd and 6.
Fortunately, thanks to the run, it'll just be 2nd and 6 here, not backed up more. Be around 2nd and 14, 15 without that big run from Javier Higgins.
Double running back set for the Panthers. 2 wide on the far side. They'll hand it off, trying to find a lane, and getting held up by a swarm of Yellow Jackets is Higgins after a gain of 1. And they'll bring up a 3rd and 6.
And it looks like the Yellow Jackets have recovered a fumble.
Oh, wow. Oh, Higgins apparently fumbled it in the pile, and the Yellow Jackets come up with it.
Anytime you see a defense running off the field screaming like that,
yeah, that's not a good sign.
Saw it, heart sank immediately, and you see the crowd on Irmo's side start to get hype a little bit, and you know that's bad news there for the Panthers. Just a tough break again. Something you cannot do, especially at this point in the game, nearing half, when you need to get something going. Just losing a fumble, that's
not a bad Irmo crowd. About what, a third of the visitors' side full, with the fans from Irmo coming from the Columbia area, about 2.5 hours away. High throw is incomplete. Trying to get it to Murph once again.
See here, you're not going to guess what was on the sideline over there.
Yeah, I'm already anticipating it's going to be a pass interference on the Panthers. Trying to contain Murph.
And I think you are going to be right.
Yep, it's going to be a pass interference on Carolina Forest.
And for the cheerleaders and the student cheering section, the Black Hole.
5:39 left to go in the first half. 35-0. Irmo in the lead.
Ball is on the 31-yard line. First and 10.
And they'll push Irmo up to the 31-yard line of Carolina Forest. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Snap, rolling out to his right is Brand. Brand looking for the throw and just lost it to the sideline to Murph. And he will make the catch. Just a short little reception by Donovan Murph along the sideline for a gain of 7. And that'll bring up a 2nd and 3.
And once we just see the ability of A.J. Brand to just make plays. It seems like nothing's there. It seems like you have him contained a little bit. He rolls out either left or right, whichever way he desires, and just makes something happen to one of his big receivers.
So it'll be 2nd and 3, ball on the 25-yard line. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side for the Yellow Jackets. Brand takes a snap, looks far side, trying to get it to Murph again, but a good job by the Panthers defending the screen pass. Waiting to see if there was a flag because there were defenders all over Murph on that pass, but surprise, surprise, there's actually not this time around.
Believe it or not, I was also anticipating a flag there. So the rare clean play there.
The rare clean defense for the Panthers.
Exactly. Makes it 3rd and 4 there. Still marching down in Panthers territory.
So that'll make it a 3rd and 4 with 5.5 minutes left to go in the half. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side for Irmo. Snap, play, read option. Brand keeps it himself. He'll get the first down and more. Still on his feet, and finally the whistle is blown this time, and Brand was about to carry a prowl of Panthers down the field yet again, but I guess this time because he went backwards, they blew the play dead. But either way, it's enough for another Irmo first down.
See that forward progress, just enough to give him that first down, and that is a big man at quarterback, and you see it there.
He didn't have his height and weight on max preps, but he's big.
You can tell. Yeah. Looking onto that field, you can see that is a big man there in that backfield.
They'll go single back, a under center in high school. This is one of the first times I've ever seen that. I think I might have only seen that once or twice ever in my time calling high school football, as he just lofts it up to Murph. Murph almost made the spectacular catch along the sideline, but just is able. The Panthers are just able to knock it out of his hand. And that'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
And I thought he went up and made a highlight reel play.
I thought so, too.
For a second here, I was sitting with my jaw dropped. I thought he made a highlight up right at that pylon, that near pylon. And
he wouldn't have been in the end zone, but he would have gotten another first down for Irmo.
And a beautiful one at that.
This time going back to the shotgun. 2 wide on the far side. 3-step drop for Brand. Brand looks down the middle of the field, and it is incomplete. Trying to get it to Murph yet again.
See there, and I think they're going to call that complete. I think.
Oh yeah, they are. They're going to call it complete at the 1-yard line. He slid down to make that spectacular grab. I thought it hit the ground, but Murph is able to make the catch, and it's now a 1st and goal from the 1.
And that's just your quarterback giving your 4-star receiver a chance to make a play on the ball, and he does just that.
And they'll go goal line set, play action pass, jump throw into the end zone, and it's caught.
And that is uncoachable right there. You see a guy free running right at you. You use your big frame to jump, get in the air, use your ability, and again, showing the reason he is a Virginia Tech commit.
That was number 4, Kyle Mitchell, who normally is an outside linebacker on that goal line play, who makes the catch. A.J. Brand looked like Derek Jeter on that jump throw. That was a beautiful Jeter-esque throw by A.J. Brand to get that ball into the end zone. And the extra point is up and good.
You do not see a player that has the ability to make those type of plays in high school every day.
No.
That is a special type of young man right there. And again, there is a reason when you check 24/7 Sports, you check any of these websites, you see that Virginia Tech logo next to his name. That is an insane play from an insane caliber player.
Did they say he missed the extra point? Because it's still saying 41 on the board. But either way, I guess he did miss it. 41-0 with 4.5 minutes left to go in the first half. We'll take a quick break, come right back with more Carolina Forest Panther football action.
Jennifer Mullen with Realty One Group Dockside is a 31-year resident with 18 years of experience representing both buyers and sellers. Jennifer has extensive knowledge of the Grand Strand real estate market and especially the Carolina Forest area. If you're ready to kick off your home search, contact Jennifer Mullen at yourcoastalrealtor.com. Again, that's Jennifer Mullen at www.yourcoastalrealtor.com.
Welcome back as the Jennifer Mullen Realty One Group Dockside kickoff is taken by Tristan Green and taken down all the way at the 7-yard line. Irmo putting the Panthers way back in their own territory to start off this drive. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Low snap, Long trying to get it out, and a great stop by the Irmo defense. Jaron Fox just got pitched out, tried to break it around the edge, but nowhere to go, and that's a loss of 3 for Fox. And I did confirm it. I thought this rule changed a couple of years ago, but according to the clock operator, Mark Morris has to allow the running clock still. So according to them, as of right now, there is no running clock.
And you know, with the way that Mark Morris plays,
he's not going to do it.
He is not accepting that running clock. That is not going to be a thing.
Shotgun set. Long has to step up into the pocket, throws it on the run, and it is incomplete. Michael Young, the intended target. A decent throw, a little short by Long, and Young tried to come back for it, but just was not quite able to make the catch.
And Long doing exactly what he does, rolling out, making plays with the legs, trying to set him up for something there. Little cross body there, looking for his man, just falls just short like you mentioned. It's going to bring up 3rd and long here, backed up away in their own territory.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Long snap, 3-step drop in the end zone, rolling out to his right, still looking for a throw, and it is caught along the sideline by Raheem Frazier, and a whistle is blown.
Cam Long sort of just doing his best job and ability there to just get the ball out of the end zone. If there's one thing you can't do in that situation, it's take a safety, take a sack there.
Yeah.
And he does a great job just finding a target, finding a man, getting it out of his hands, and just trying to push it upfield however he can.
But even with that reception, it's still 4th and long, 4th and 13, deep in their own territory. And it looks like Irmo decided to call a timeout, trying to score even more before the half ends with 3:11 left to go in the first half. And I guess they're basically saying, hey, if you don't want to wave the white flag, we won't either.
Sort of looks like they're giving them an ultimatum right here.
They're saying, hey, if you want to continue and you want to get this beat down, we'll give it to you.
And coming up, this punt team, it's going to be a shortened punt field for Roman Fisher.
Yeah, they're going to be pinned back in their own end zone. And there have been a couple of, not as many times as last week, but there have been a couple of times where this Irmo punt return team or the punt block team has been able to get close to blocking Roman Fisher's kick.
That's right. We saw Huff block one last week. Sort of just nervous here, especially pinned back in your own end zone. Knowing that this punt protection unit allowed a blocked one last week, sort of sitting here uncomfortable. Roman Fisher very close to that defensive front.
Surprising that Irmo doesn't have many guys up on the line of scrimmage. Doesn't look like they're going to send the house. The punt is up by Fisher. It's a low kick, fielded and taken down at the 35-yard line. Number 19, Anton Jones, the punt catch.
Anton Jones with the return, tackled by number 34, Anthony Cunningham with a nice play.
But once again, Irmo starting in prime field position for their offense.
That's right, and that shortened field allows for Irmo to take over in the Panthers' 34-yard line, already nearing the doorstep of that red zone. It's just been the storyline of the night is Irmo's starting field position and being able to capitalize.
Shotgun set 2 wide on the far side. They'll hand it off on a sweep run. Philip Williams Jr. with the carry, and he will get taken down for a loss of 2. and it'll be 2nd and 12.
Tackle for a loss brings up a 2nd and 12.
That's a nice play there in the backfield to be able to get back there, make that tackle for loss, and just try to hold him back a little bit before nearing halftime. Try not to let him get too many points on this board running up before the half.
I mean, again, at this point, you're basically just trying to get those moral victories, but stopping Irmo from scoring right here when they took the timeout. They'll go single back set. They'll hand the ball off to White on a little slant route.
Tackled by number 7, Brody Bailey. And number 40, Zeke.
All right. We'll get a gain of 6, and they'll bring them back into semi-plus territory, 3rd and 6.
So they're going to play about 3rd and mid here. We know they have some kickers, but you know Irmo's offense. They're not going to try to settle for the 3. They're going here, try to get the pylon, try to get the end zone here. They don't want the first down. They want more.
Play action pass. Rolling out to his right, throwing it into the end zone, and incomplete, but there may be a flag waiting to see.
And there is.
And there is. Good attempt by Charles McCray to try to play the ball. It looked like he started playing the ball, but then he kind of panicked and went after the hands, and as a result, that's going to be a pass interference.
That's right. He sort of knew he got beat off the line. He was trying to use his makeup speed there, try to close down on the receiver. But by the time he got there a little early to the ball, and that receiver is playing back. Anytime you're playing back as a receiver and there's a DB right in your face, it's a pretty easy call for the ref to make. And some of that comes down to a good acting job from the receiver. And we saw a little bit there, but I think it was enough to be a justified pass
He definitely hit the hands at least a little bit to make it a little harder for Murph to make that catch.
I think all these pass interferences have been very justified here for this Irmo offense.
So, again, it's another pass interference for Carolina Forest. That'll push Irmo up to the 15-yard line and give them another first down with 1.5 minutes left to go in the half.
Right back into the red zone.
Yep. Shotgun set, one wide on either side. A little screen pass out is caught along the near side sideline and taken down to the 8-yard line.
And one thing
and
you
again,
sort of
Malik Miller with the reception. Oh, no, that was actually Murph that time. Again.
It's one of the two.
One of the two.
One of those twos is always making a play. And one thing you really notice about this Irmo offense, they love taking the shots down the field, then they love handing it right up the gut, and then they love throwing the screen pass. They love stretching the field, utilizing these different balanced play calls, throwing off this Panthers defense, making them sort of anticipate one thing, then you go right to a different one, then you go right to another different one, and it's just messing with the Panthers defense head, making it impossible to cover any part of the field.
They're just keeping the Panthers defense on their toes, not knowing what's coming next. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Hands it off to the running back right up the middle, just plowing his way through the line is number 19, Anton Jones Jr., who's listed as a wide receiver, playing running back on that play and finding a wide open hole right up the middle, and he just walks his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Why not? It's been the type of night that if you have a receiver, you want to put him in the backfield, try out some new things, you go for it. And that's exactly what they did, and they find the end zone for about, I'd say they're pretty comfortable when it comes to the end zone in this game.
So they're only assuming they hit the extra point, which they do. So they are now only 3 points away from tying the number 5 biggest loss in program history at 51, which was to Marion back in '98, the first year of Carolina Forest football. So a very disappointing night for the Panthers thus far, with 30 seconds left to go in the first half. And
that's, I mean, we're looking at the sheet. 5th is 51, a negative 51 point differential. 2nd is 57.
Yeah.
So there is not a lot of flex between the 5th spot and the 2 spot.
And even as you go higher, The number 2, well, yeah, you just said the number 2 spot is just 57. So that's less than that's just a touchdown.
That's number 24, Tristan Green.
Now, I doubt they'll get to 70, but, who knows? I mean, at this point, it's only the first half.
That's right. And just like you mentioned it, 70, the differential was Myrtle Beach, 70 nothing. That's sort of the way this game's trending to go. So you want to steer clear of that first spot. That might be the goal for the Panthers here in the second half, is just steer clear of this list. Try to damage control.
And, to those who are unaware, I thought I know there was discussion about this I think it was a couple of years ago, about them changing the rule on this. But according to the time operator, Mark Morris still has to tell the clock operator to do a running clock.
And he is not going to.
As they hand off the ball to Jaron Fox, and he'll dive down for a gain of about 3. And that'll bring up a 2nd and 7, and looks like that'll end the first half here. 3, 2, 1, and the whistle blows for the end of the first half. So after a half, it is 48-0. We'll talk about this a little more when we come back from break, but you mentioned it just there. If you're Mark Morris, do you do a running clock or no?
I would have to say you do, but I believe Mark Morris will not. Exactly.
I would agree. So we'll take a break real quick and step aside for a bit and get ready. We'll come back, get ready for the second half, give you some first half stats and analysis. Probably not much to talk about. Talk about some region stuff and get you ready for the second half here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network. 48-0. Irmo in the lead at the half.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Jennifer Mullen with Realty One Group Dockside is a 31-year resident with 18 years of experience representing both buyers and sellers. Jennifer has extensive knowledge of the Grand Strand real estate market and especially the Carolina Forest area. If you're ready to kick off your home search, contact Jennifer Mullen at yourcoastalrealtor.com. Again, that's Jennifer Mullen at www.yourcoastalrealtor.com.
Welcome back as we are at halftime here at Panther Stadium with the Irmo Yellow Jackets dominating the Panthers tonight 48-0. And we'll go next level right now real quick. First for the Panthers this week. Last week, Kyle Watkins had 7 receptions for 133 yards. I was actually talking to the William and Mary SID last week when I was up at Coastal, and we were talking about, because they are playing, Wofford is playing William and Mary this week, and he mentioned, Kyle Watkins must be their number 1 receiver now this year with how many targets he's been getting this year thus far. This week, Alabama State travels to Sanford. Austin Peay travels to Central Arkansas. Coastal Carolina travels to Temple. East Carolina hosts App State. Murray State hosts Mississippi Valley State. And Wofford hosts William and Mary, like I just mentioned. For the Yellow Jackets, they have 7 former Yellow Jackets at the next level. Bryant Ham at Coastal Carolina, Kobe Taylor, linebacker at Gardner-Webb, Jaden Allen Hendricks at Oklahoma State. He is from last year's class, as is Bryant Ham Jr., along with Eli Williams and Isaiah McClary. So this Irmo team was good last year, had a number of Division I prospects, and now this year still a few others. Dietrich Starks Jr. at SC State. Eli Williams, like I mentioned, also at SC State. And 2 South Carolina guys, Isaiah McClary and Junior Nick Imanwari. Imanwari was the one guy to get any stats last week. Had 7 tackles, 3 of them solo, and a 24-yard pick 6 to help the Gamecocks upset Kentucky last week, which was a bit of a shock in the SEC, and that pick 6 by Imanwari was definitely a deciding factor. This week, Coastal travels to Temple. Gardner-Webb travels to Charlotte to take on the 49ers. Oklahoma State travels to Tulsa to take on the Golden Hurricane. SC State travels to Georgia Southern, and South Carolina hosting LSU. Any stats that we need to mention tonight?
Tonight, it's much in the same as last week. We get to halftime. You look at the passing stats; they're virtually not there. You see Cam Long getting in that passing game. He's 0 for 1. Patrick Mullen is 0 for 3 through the air. So 0 for 4 combined total in this passing game. Then you move to the run game. You have some guys. You have Jaron Fox, 9 touches, 21 yards. Sort of his average going up a little bit from that Huff game. Javier Higgins having 3 touches in the first half tonight, going for 10 yards. We saw the explosive run that got called back a little bit, allowing them to start off and a little bit of plus range on one of those drives. Besides from that, there's really no notable stats. One that sticks out on the other end of the spectrum, the Panthers are 0 for 4 on 3rd down.
Yeah, that's not good to see. So we'll go around the region real quick, and like I talked about earlier when we were talking about Carolina Forest schedule and whatnot, even with how poor the last 2 weeks have gone for the Panthers, I think they're going to be okay in region play.
I think you're right.
Carolina Forest, now, no team in Region 5A or Region 6 5A is above 500 right now.
Wow.
Because Carolina Forest is the best team in Region 6 5A right now at 1-1-1.
And that's a mouthful. 1-1-1.
Yeah. Conway 1-2, Myrtle Beach 1-2, Saugatuck 1-2, St. James is 0-2, North Myrtle Beach is 0-3. Last week, Conway beat Shaw 2016, but it's a 3A Shaw, or Shaw I think it's 2A, right?
I believe it's 2A.
Yeah.
I believe it's 2A.
So they lost by they beat Shaw by only 4 points. Sumter dominated Myrtle Beach last week, 42-25. West Brunswick, who Carolina Forest dominated here at home in the beginning of the season, beat North Myrtle Beach 32-27. Socastee beat Aner, but again, Aner's a 3A. And Lucy Beckham dominated St. James 48-17. So even without, even with how poorly the Panthers have played, relatively speaking, these last 2 weeks, I think they're still going to be okay once we get into region play. This week, as of right now, trying to see.
And I'll say,
apparently the Marlborough County Conway game has gone just as penalty stricken as this one has. Ian Guerin is over there. He said penalty number 13 on Marlborough County is quickly followed up by number 14, and they've played 17 minutes.
oh,
That
wow.
was 8 minutes ago.
They're averaging almost a penalty a minute over
Yeah.
there.
Marlborough County, the last score update that Ian put out was 15 minutes ago. Marlborough County is leading Conway 12-10.
Oh, wow. Seems
So-
like they might be in for a good finish over
Yeah,
there.
so that one would be a good one. But again, it's another 3A school that you would expect a 5A to be able to beat at least fairly handily. Looking to see if there's any more scores I can find around the region.
And I'll say, what you mentioned about just sitting back, even when the Panthers have these tough performances against Huff or against Irmo tonight, they are still looking around the region saying, okay, that West Brunswick team that we dominated, North Myrtle Beach goes out to and loses to that West Brunswick team. Teams like Lucy Beckham goes out and dominates St. James. You're looking at that game as well. You're just looking around the region, and you're seeing you're not the only one having these struggles. And when it does get to game time against those region opponents, you have some good upper hands.
Exactly. Doesn't look like there's not many score updates right now. So we'll see if we can find some updates for you guys. But, yeah, I mean, at this point, this game is pretty much all but over. But what do you do in the second half? Do you basically just wave the white flag and bring in the backups, or?
I think the first thing that I would do is I would accept the running clock.
Well, yes. Okay. You are correct there.
Working off of that, second thing I would do is I would just stick to my ground and pound defense, the bread and butter. We know what Carolina Forest offense is all about. It's the ground game. It's the ground and pound. You let your younger backs get some experience. We know they like to pull them up. Just let them play a little bit. Let them run around. We saw it last week against Huff. I believe we're going to see it this week against Irmo, finishing down the line. I believe you do also let Cam Long show off his arm ability a little bit. You let him go around and make plays. You balance the offense out a little bit, something you normally wouldn't do. You come out, you let him take some strikes. You don't go too crazy with the play calling. You played a little conservative, and you just let this game ride its course.
Yeah. Luckily for the Panthers, they've got a slightly easier matchup next week, although they have to travel a little bit. They have their furthest game in terms of travel this year when they head down to the Charleston area and Ashley Ridge. So that should be that should be an interesting one for next week. Still trying to see if I can find any updates of any of the other games. Marlborough County just extended their lead.
Oh, wow.
A 52-yard touchdown run with 3:35 left in the second quarter. The two-point conversion attempt failed, but Marlborough County now up 18-10 on Conway.
Two-point attempt conversion is interesting because you imagine, unless they don't really have a place kicker on standby.
Well, I think it was also because of, I guess just because of the score, they wanted to extend it to a 10-point lead.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's my guess at least.
maybe if they don't have a kicker or whatnot, but if they did put one through, it's still a 2-possession game. So interesting choice there. But I think that, again, that'll be a score to watch down the stretch as well.
Absolutely. Oh, did they? I think Loris at North Myrtle Beach got delayed.
Oh, we're all too familiar with those weather delays. And
Joe Wedra said 4 minutes ago, Loris and North Myrtle Beach are about to get back playing here in the second half. Or, oh, wait, that may be just because of the halftime. Never mind. But, I did find one. I did find another score. Socastee losing to Stratford 20-7.
ooh,
Yeah, this, I hate to say it, but I think this week, or this year, is just going to be a week one for Region 6 5A.
and it's the first year they're all playing together. So
True.
little, not really an adjustment year, but
And at the half, Loris leading North Myrtle Beach 21-7. Now, granted, it's Loris. We saw how good they were in the CMB. So
Loris does have a really good squad this year. They look very,
Yes.
very solid at the CMB.
I could see them winning 3A this year,
Could see that.
as we are just a few minutes away from the kickoff of the second half. And, yeah, at this point, it's just a situation of the Panthers just having to come out here and just,
This kickoff coming up is sponsored by Sparks Toyota, where the dealer is always in.
Okay.
They are our corporate sponsor, and Sparks Toyota.
So we just got confirmation that it is, according to the official on the field, he determines whether it is a running clock or not. So we'll have to wait to see when we get the second half underway, whether they are going to have the clock run or if it's just going to be business as usual, even with the 48-point lead for Irmo.
You're nearing towards the second half. Just not as much anticipation as
No,
we've seen in
no,
prior
definitely
weeks.
not.
But
I mean, this, like I said, this reminds me a lot of some of the other games over the last couple of years, like against South Florence and against Somerville. Not quite this much of a shellacking, but it was still a big deficit for Carolina Forest, and the air was definitely taken out of Panther Stadium.
that's exactly right. And this whole second half, I got this page turned. I'll be glancing down, looking at the biggest loss margin.
Yeah.
Just making
That's
sure.
that's the storyline for the second half is, can the Panthers avoid getting this team on that top five?
Definitely. And we've seen these younger guys, these backups come in and be able to move the ball down the field a little bit. So if they can go put some garbage time points on the board, sort of start to chip at that deficit a little bit, make sure it stays manageable and it doesn't get too out of hand, that would be in CF's best interest.
And something I noticed on both sides, but especially on the biggest loss round, in over the past decade, ever since Mark Morris took over, they've been able to, play good offense and keep themselves off of that top five. They haven't had a top five biggest loss since 2010. So, and even on the top wins, though, they, ever since 2020, they haven't been as dynamic offensively. Most of the top 10 wins were either in 2019 or 2020. So, Panthers they've been in much closer games in recent years. But tonight, unfortunately, this one, unless Irmo just lays a goose egg, I would assume that this one's probably going up there.
I would have assumed so too. 3 points off that list. Second half hasn't even gotten underway yet. you would assume that you're going to see Irmo's name on that list somewhere.
And a very disappointing way to start your history against the Yellow Jackets, because this is the first time these two programs have ever faced in program history.
That's right.
So we are just moments away from kicking off the second half, and that decision to receive for Irmo, you know, maybe the Panthers get a little something going offensively to start off the second half. At least keep themselves off of that top 5.
You know, we had our thoughts on them receiving out of the gate, but I don't think it really.
Well, I told you, they didn't care. They wanted to receive and just show how dominant they were offensively. And they did just that on the first drive.
Oh, yeah. They definitely did that.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, Irmo's coming out. They got arms swinging here on this kickoff. They're ready to start this second half.
And the second half is underway. Kick is fielded at the 9-yard line and getting taken down at the 15-yard line is Tristan Green on the return. And that's where the Panthers will start on offense.
Ball's on the 17-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Panthers.
And Jaron Fox is still out there, and Patrick Mullen is back out there.
Okay. Very interesting here to start off the second half. Didn't really expect to see the starters back on the field, but here we go.
I do notice something, however, on the sideline. As the snap is handed off to Fox, and he will get a gain of 4 to start off this drive and start off the second half. I want to see if you noticed something about the Carolina Forest sideline.
See here, I'm searching. I feel like we're playing a game of I Spy right now. See if I can.
Look at the jerseys. All of the jerseys. Or at least most of them. Most of them are JV guys, because they don't have the names.
Oh, you're right.
So we may see some JV guys coming in tonight. As Jaron Fox gets another handoff, he'll get another gain of 4. Actually, make it 3, and it'll be 3rd and 2.
I'm not sure if names came with these alternate jerseys.
You may be right. It may be that they're the new alternate jerseys, but I thought, because there are still a bunch of players that have the names on them. Shotgun set. 2 wide on either side. Speed option, pitches it out to Fox. Fox tries to find somewhere to go, but nowhere to go, as he gets taken down by Kyle Mitchell. And that'll bring up a 4th and 4 after a loss, and not the way you want to start the drive, but, I mean, not surprising at the same time.
In a familiar scene here, we're going to see the punt unit trot onto the field here for the Panthers. Roman Fisher, he's getting his workload in tonight, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Roman Fisher getting ready to kick it off. And the whistle is blown. Looks like there's going to be a flag. And
that is a shocker. There's a flag?
I was waiting to see if the clock was going to continue to run, but apparently it stopped on the flag. So I'm guessing there's no running clock, but we'll have to keep an eye on that and see. And now they'll run it.
Here's some confusion at the line. Not sure what that stoppage was really
for. I'm not sure what that stoppage was for either, as the Panther offensive line is still standing up. The play clock is running down. They're still up. Under 10 seconds left to go on the play clock. Now they finally get down, and they just get the snap off with 2 seconds left on the play clock. Once again going with the double punt returner, and there was a whistle blown as he caught it, yet
Saw some flags fly as well.
Murph still was going and finally got pushed out of bounds. Actually, that was Miller on the return.
Some whistles blowing, some flags flying, and some all too familiar scenes here. Not sure exactly what they booked it for, but gonna see the official come out here to midfield. Let us know. Still having a little bit of a discussion there on the logo.
Waiting to see the call. Looks like they're talking to the Irmo head coach, Brand.
And it looks like they're going to take over directly at midfield.
Right on the Panther head.
Can't get any more perfect than that.
Nope. So they'll start on the 50. They'll go single back set, one wide on either side. Brand takes the snap, hands it off, finding a hole, still on his feet after almost getting tripped up, and getting the first down and more is Amir White. And that'll be another Irmo first down. Charles McCray on the tackle.
That was a big, powerful run there, too. Lowers his head right near that first down and just puts his shoulder down and tries to run through a guy there. Charles McCray, good job there to slow down the momentum. Still gets the first down.
And Irmo is going pro style, going with the single back again. Snap, 3-step drop. Brand looks deep down the far sideline, and it is caught by surprise, Donovan Murph. He finally gets the separation he's been looking for all night, and he makes the catch and steps his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And both times we have seen that formation has been the exact same route. You send your big guy, Donovan Murph, on a fade streak down the sideline, on that left sideline there, trucking it up. This time he is able to make a play on the ball. It's a beautifully placed ball, and he just waltzed into the end zone for a 39-yard touchdown reception. They've been looking for that all night.
And there it is. That puts them onto the top 5 right there. If this score were to hold, which, let's face it, I doubt that happens. I'm pretty sure Irmo's going to put up a few more points, but this would already put them in the number 4 spot.
That's right. They have found themselves on the list. Just like you mentioned, the question is, are they going to stay on the list? And you have to believe they will.
I'm assuming they're not only going to stay on the list, but I have a feeling they'll at least get up to the number 2 spot.
So
and the clock stopped again. So no running clock, even though we're already halfway through the third quarter. But still shocking, there's no running clock.
And they're already on that 4th place spot on that list. Not only are they on it, they're already starting to climb it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're already past the number 4 spot in Sumter, which was minus 53. And the next one they're looking at is Myrtle Beach at minus 56. And then Myrtle Beach and Hartsville tied at minus 57. So just one more touchdown already puts them up over all of those.
That's exactly right. They're going to be fighting for that 1 spot by the end of the night.
24, Tristan Green on the return.
Tristan Green makes the catch on the kick return and takes it down to the 25-yard line. And that's where the Panthers offense will start. And we talked about it last week against Huff, but at this point you just kind of want to get that moral victory of maybe putting some points on the board for Carolina Forest.
That's right. You do not want to get shut out.
I don't see it happening tonight. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. And snap, throwing it down the middle of the field, but just out of the reach of his intended target. Once again, Cameron Long out there on the field in the quarterback position. Clavon Ward, the intended target on that pass. Just couldn't quite get it to him on the slant route.
And like we mentioned prior to last week, the last time CF was shut out was back in 2017.
And now it might be 2 weeks in a row.
Exactly. Now they're threatening back-to-back weeks being shut out. That's unprecedented with this squad.
Shotgun set 3 wide on the near side. Hands it off. Finds a hole and maybe getting a little bit of momentum. Jaron Fox on the carry. And he brings it all the way down to the 42-yard line. And that'll be a Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down.
That's a great explosive run there from Fox. And just like you mentioned, that sort of builds up that momentum a little bit. Might have heard us talking about that shutout, man. Telling you.
They're trying to avoid having back-to-back shutouts after not having a shutout in 7 years. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Low snap. Screen passes out and gets rocked as the ball was coming to him. A huge hit right there by Matthew Blocker, trying to get it to Caden Cole. But Blocker was right there ready for the screen pass and blew it up right as the pass got to Cole.
That was perfect timing, perfect execution there from that DB standpoint, and he laid a hard
millisecond
hit.
later, and it would have been a pass interference.
That's exactly right. He timed that up to perfection. That's textbook's play right there on a screen pass, and he wasn't having any of it.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. And now Mullen is out there again. Play action pass, throws it down the middle of the field, and it is just behind Caden Cole.
It's going right back at him after that screen pass, and it's been a struggle all night. Just looking for their first completion through the air.
Just trying to find something.
That's exactly right.
And, okay, we are on a running clock now, as with the incomplete pass. You would have expected the clock to stop, but it is still going. 2.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
It's Mullen's 6th pass of the night, still searching for that first completion. He's 0 for 6 on the night.
And when the running game isn't working and the passing game isn't working, that's why the Panthers are still scoreless. Exactly. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. 5-step drop, throwing it near side, and it's caught! And it'll be a first down and more, bringing it down into goal-to-go territory is Raheem Fraser, and that's exactly what the Panthers want to do. Hey, the broadcaster jinx worked in the opposite direction tonight, as that is Mullen's first pass completed tonight, and it's 1st and goal for Carolina Forest.
Maybe we need to start giving them a little pick-me-up more often. That's twice now on this drive. They sort of heard me, and they're sort of trying to shush me up here in the booth.
Yeah.
I've noticed that. They're sort of
low snap. They'll hand it off to Fox, and he'll get about 5, and it'll be 2nd and goal from the 5. So at the very least, you would have to hope that there will not be another shutout tonight, because unless Mark Morris decides to go for it on 4th down, they'll at least get 3 here.
That's right. And knowing the aggressiveness of Coach Morris,
that may not be a guarantee. You are right.
It's definitely not out of the question.
You are correct there. A timeout is called by Irmo with 1:13 left to go in the third quarter.
And, I mean, just during this break, I just want to take a second to acknowledge that pass from Patrick
Morris. Oh, that was a beautiful ball.
The play after mentioning how he's 0 for 6 in the air, struggling to get something going, he says, hey, I have an arm. Throws one almost cross body all the way to his big target, his fast target, Raheem Fraser. Some serious speed down that sideline, hooking up for a 42-yard reception, and that was beautifully executed. They've been looking for that all night, and finally it took a while. They connected.
So the Panthers trying to get at least a moral victory here.
That's exactly right.
And score some points.
Something worth noting, if they do put it in the end zone here, Irmo gets knocked off that deficit list for now.
At least for now.
Let's see how well they play this damage control.
If they only get a field goal, then they're still on. But Shotgun set. One wide on the near side. They'll go heavy. They'll hand it off to Fox. Fox tries to plow his way into the end zone.
That's number 5.
Oh, actually, that was Patrick Mullen keeping himself, and he'll get taken down. They'll say he lost a yard.
We see some more flags fly on the
Yeah.
field, too.
This may be a holding. This may push the Panthers back even further. And, oh, no, it'll be a face mask on Irmo.
This is going to be interesting. This might put the ball right at the 1-yard line, 1st and goal. Give him some shots at this to sort of maybe pull out a play out of the Eagles playbook. A little tush push. Little tush push never hurt.
So that'll put the ball on the 2-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 2. They'll still go shotgun set, one wide on either side. Mullen takes the snap, low snap, hands it off to Fox, and Fox is, oh no, Mullen actually holds on to it himself again and just gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe gets a yard. And it'll be 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line.
And now we see it. 2 attempts to get into the end zone here. Let's see how they're going to attack this. You got to think they're going right back up the gut. But like we mentioned, that sophomore there for Irmo.
And that will end the 3rd quarter. So after 3, it's 55-0. Panthers trying to put their first points on the board and just get a little moral victory on the goal line as we head into the 4th quarter here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Start of the 4th quarter, Panthers trying to at least get a little moral victory here, putting some points on the board in this absolute blowout. Currently down 55-0 would put them at the 4th biggest defeat in program history.
See here, 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line. You punch one into the end zone, and all of a sudden they're off that list.
You knock them off that list, yeah.
I have a feeling this 4th quarter might be a bunch of a back and forth battling on that list.
And with the running clock, Irmo wouldn't have as much time to extend that lead.
Exactly.
Hopefully you'll have to change that graphic in about 5 seconds.
Hopefully. So far, the final score graphic, 55-0. We're looking to change that right here on this possession.
So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 1. They'll go heavy set. Shotgun set, one wide on either side. They'll hand it off again and again. Jaron Fox is stuffed, and he will lose a yard, actually lose a couple, and now it's 4th and goal from the 3. And now if you're Mark Morris, what do you do?
And that makes the Panthers.
There is a, oh, I thought there was a flag, but never mind.
The rare no flag.
Yes.
Seeing it there.
Looks like they're going to go for it.
That pushes the Panthers to 0 for 5 on 3rd down conversions tonight.
And they have yet to go for it on 4th down tonight, correct?
Correct.
So this would be their first attempt to go for it on 4th down. This basically probably to determine whether they get shut out or not. Mullen takes a snap. He'll keep it himself, and he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. The Panthers will not get shut out again tonight. Jaron Fox was actually in the quarterback position, a little wildcat there. Jaron Fox took it himself and gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Not only does that avoid the shutout, but that, at least for the time being, pushes Irmo off of that top 5 worst defeats in program history.
Exactly that. They're no longer on the list. We're no longer on the shutout list. Just a little wildcat there, trusting your back, Jaron Fox, who's been so premier, so good for 2 seasons. You give it to him, you let him run the wildcat straight up the gut, and he finds a way to get into the end zone. That's what you love to see out of your playmakers. And again, you got to take the small moral victories, glass half full, and they're going to do exactly that on that drive. Capitalize. Great way to avoid being on the list for now.
Keon Jen hits the extra point, and that'll send us to a quick break. 10.5 minutes left to go in the game, 55-7. Panthers trailing.
Jennifer Mullen with Realty One Group Dockside is a 31-year resident with 18 years of experience representing both buyers and sellers. Jennifer has extensive knowledge of the Grand Strand real estate market and especially the Carolina Forest area. If you're ready to kick off your home search, contact Jennifer Mullen at yourcoastalrealtor.com. Again, that's Jennifer Mullen at www.yourcoastalrealtor.com.
A little moral victory there with the Panthers scoring the touchdown, and they try to avoid putting Irmo onto the top 5 biggest losses in program history. Irmo will get the ball back to start their next drive. They have yet to not score on a drive tonight, so you would expect them to probably score again here. Although, with the running clock as it is running right now, and, they're going to go for an onside kick. Or not an onside kick, but like a little squib kick.
Just a little pooch kick out there.
Yeah, a little pooch kick. Trying to get something going, but Irmo is able to come up with it. Mitchell is the one to come up with it.
Let's see here, the defense coming in. Just like you mentioned, get that stop. Irmo has yet to be stopped on an offensive possession. But if you're going to do it, now is the time. You keep mentioning that list, alluding to it. Need to get that stop here.
And the starters are still out for Irmo, so they're going for the throat. Shotgun set 2 wide on the near side. Brand takes the snap. Oh, actually a direct snap on a jet sweep. Taken by Ethan Singletary, and he gets a gain of about 5, and it'll be 2nd and 5.
I feel like we're going to really see this running clock come into effect here on this drive.
Yeah.
Irmo here, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw their foot in the gas a little bit throwing the ball downfield, but I believe there will be a lot of runs mixed into this drive, and I feel like before you know it, this clock's going to dwindle down.
Which will probably make sure that the Panthers avoid, this will probably not go on to like the 70 mark or anything. They're going to go single back set again, hands the ball off again to Amir White, and he gets a gain of 3, and that'll make it a 3rd and 2.
Number 43, Jalen Wineglass. Foot 2. Ball's on the 47-yard line. Again, if you dropped off today, if your parents dropped you off, make sure you give them a call.
This clock already dwindled down.
And something else you don't see very often in high school, a huddle.
That's right. I have noticed that tonight. Irmo has been going back to that huddle play after play, just sort of regrouping and not getting to the line.
They're going heavy. They're going with it's not the Maryland I, but I forget what the I formation with the strong side back as well.
They're going straight forward. They're not scared to go right up the gut.
Yeah.
Give it to their guy and rumble
off
forward.
To White again. The power eye, I think it's called.
Power. That sounds right. That does sound right.
Ball's on the 47-yard line. 1st and 10 for Irmo.
And that'll be another first down on the Amir White carry. And now they'll go back to the shotgun set. 2 wide on the far side. Motions Miller. Near side, now far side. They'll dump it out and just a short pass. Tried to get it to Murph. And just out of reach for Murph.
And that's just a rare misfire there by Brand.
Yeah.
Looking for that screen pass they've been so sound with all night. And he just throws that one into the turf right at the feet of his receiver. And have not been seeing that all game. Clock still running, dwindling down to about 6:30 left in this game. It's been going by fast.
2nd and 10. Well, that's what happens when you got the running clock. Those last quarters go by very quickly. Usually we're on the other side of these running clocks. We're usually on the winning side, not the losing side. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. 3-step drop for Brand. Brand looking deep, and now has to throw it as he gets hit and just throws it away.
Great pressure there in the backfield, making Brand sort of think fast, having to get that one out. If not, he had a sack written all over that in the backfield.
Got hit as he threw, too.
Exactly. Great job by Brand to be able to get that one out. Great job by the Panthers defensive front to get some pressure back there and make them think fast.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 10 here. And another potential moral victory, getting the stop here, avoiding a perfect game for the Irmo offense.
That's right.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Snap, 3-step drop. Again pressured toward Brand, but this time he's able to roll out of the pocket and throw it on the run to the sideline. It's caught by Murph right at the first down marker, and he'll get the first down and more before stepping out of bounds. Actually, that'll be Malik Miller with the catch. And that'll be another Irmo first down.
And Brand just doing what he does, evading pressure in that backfield. He had 3 rushers coming right at him. He stood tall. He made a play. He got out of the pocket, and he found his guy for the first down. That is what makes this quarterback so dangerous.
And with how methodically Irmo's offense has moved on this drive, the Panthers might get saved by the bell because they're about to hit 4:30 on the clock.
That's absolutely right. They took this ball over with about 9 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock. They're working this all the way down to about 4:30.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Brand takes a snap, 2-step drop, looking down the field. Now he'll throw it deep into the end zone, and it will not be caught, just short of number 12.
Ball's incomplete in the end zone, but there's a flag.
Trying to get it to Taryn Brown.
But the
Taryn Bowman.
The dangers with the deep ball.
Yeah, and it was definitely a pass interference. It was underthrown. It was going to be a tough catch for Bowman, but there was some contact on that throw by the Panther defender.
And they do not hesitate to book him on it.
No. So that pass interference will push the ball up even further for Irmo with 4 minutes left to go in the game. Still a running clock, so again, basically the only way that the Panthers are not going to have this game go on the top 5 is if they get saved by the bell.
That's right. We have not seen a defensive stop yet from this unit.
Snap, hands it off to
That's number 28.
White again.
And if there is a drive they need to get a defensive stop, it's now to stop that record book play.
3.5 left to go in the game.
But they are creeping. They're in the red zone. They're knocking on the door of the 10-yard line right now. It looks like they're just shy at the 11. And they are in good position to tack on some more points and put on this list, this margin of defeat.
1st and 10.
Just creeping towards 3 minutes left in this game.
Snap, 2-step drop, lofts it into the end zone. Oh no, he was about to throw it, then rolls out to his left, makes the reception.
Ball goes to number 3,
and Malik Miller makes the catch, but they'll mark him just short. Tried to dive for the pylon, but they will say he was taken down at the 2-yard line. 2.5 minutes left to go in this one.
And they are right at the doorstep. And you got to think, if they do score on this drive, they're leaving virtually no time for the Panthers.
Oh, yeah. If they score here, it's all but over, especially with a running clock. They'll go with the heavy set again. This time they'll go with a little tush push for Brand, and he'll get into the still waiting for a signal, and they do. They do get into the end zone. A.J. Brand with the tush push carry, and with 2 minutes left to go in the game, the clock does stop on the touchdown, but that will extend the lead out to 53.
And I think I spy with my little eye a very rare penalty.
So we'll have to wait to see what the penalty call is. And they're taking the points off the board, so I'm assuming this is on Irmo, and they're walking it back. Yeah, it's going to be a holding on Irmo.
And as well as Irmo's played tonight, they have had plenty of holding calls go against them. Obviously, has not gone to bite them, but still something that irks you a little bit as a coach.
And now with the clock running under 2 minutes left to go in the game, and there's another flag. Flags galore tonight, and they're pushing Irmo back even further, I think.
So you're just under 2 minutes. They're getting pushed way back.
So
might be the saving grace here.
With the running clock too, unless Irmo really wants to, drive the nail in the coffin and score, and they use their timeouts, they're all the way back at the Carolina Forest 32, and it's second down. Now, granted, they did score with this type of amount of yardage to go back in the second quarter. So high snap, they'll hand it off, trying to find the corner, but getting pushed out of bounds is Amir White. But the clock continues to run, under a minute and a half left to go in the game.
And they are in familiar territory. They've been backed up behind these chains very often in this game. You know they're not. They don't mind it. They don't mind being backed all the way up, but the storyline behind it, it's third down, way back up.
Third and a mile. Third and about from here to Irmo.
It's about the distance.
With a minute left to go. And like I said, the Panthers may get saved by penalties and saved by the bell tonight.
That's exactly right. Unless they want to go put a field goal on here and tie.
Yeah, that would
that
tie
fifth place
that
region, the
fifth
deficit right
place
there.
record. And they're gonna kneel it. Are they just gonna? They're just gonna let it. I mean, granted, they probably don't know, but I'm kind of surprised that they did not go for the gusto at the end. So the Panthers, and it looks like, both teams are leaving the field. So the Panthers get saved by the bell. This game will not end up in the record books on the negative side for Carolina Forest, and will not be a shutout as well. But the Panthers do still lose in dominant fashion, 55-7. Irmo comes down from Columbia and dominates Carolina Forest. Once again, final score 55-7. Panthers lose by 48 points. Any final words before we sign off tonight?
I think my final words are going to be much in the same as last week. You see a big defeat margin on the screen. This one does sting a little more than the Huff game because it was very, very much more dominant. But I do believe we know Mark Morris loves to schedule these insanely tough matchups early in the season. Panthers fans, do not hang your head low.
No.
There's plenty of football in this season. This is non-region play. Going into region play, which determines playoffs and everything, we're going to be looking good in the region. I think we can both agree on that. The Beach region, we are favorited. This is ours to take this season. We're going to go into that region, playing these tough games. We're going to be prepared for it. Don't be discouraged. We'll be back next week.
Irmo jumps to 4-0. Panthers fall to 1-2-1. Next week, we travel down to Charleston and Ashley Ridge when the Panthers will face them. And we'll have all the action for you as usual. So once again, final score 55-7. Panthers get blown out by Irmo. For Brogan Hillman, I'm Brandon Biskobing saying